Hello and welcome to When They Pop's Patreon. Or if you're listening to our public episode, you get an exclusive fun sneak peek at what our Patreon actually is like. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Mary. Hello, everybody. It's been a while. How are you, Kels?
I'm doing great. I can't believe we're heading back to Sphere so soon. I'm so excited. I just can't freaking wait.
I can't wait. I feel like a kid waiting for Christmas.
Literally, that is exactly what it feels like. But in the meantime, we have a really fun topic for today. We are going to be continuing our Patreon series, Women of Y2K. And our latest installment highlights none other than Tara Reid. I think most of us think of Tara Reid as that tabloid fixture in the early 2000s. She still is today. She's still making headlines. She recently, in fact, made headlines for revealing that there may be talks of a Josie and the Pussycats sequel. OMG. She said, now we're thinking of making a second one. That would be the coolest movie ever. If the Backstreet Boys could do it, we could do it. So there I am, relating everything back to Backstreet Boys at
Oh my
Sphere.
God. I love it.
We agree, Tara. That would be really fun. I do think Rachel Lee Cook recently debunked that there's any conversations around it, but a girl can dream. It's a year of manifesting. We manifested a Millennium tour. We can manifest Josie and the Pussycats coming back. But there's obviously so much more to Tara than the headlines. She is a cult classic movie queen. She was in The Big Lebowski, American Pie, Sharknado. I mean, her contributions to culture-defining movies of our generation cannot be overlooked. It stops today. We're giving Tara her flowers. So welcome to Women of Y2K.
Let's talk about her. Let's talk about this queen, Tara Donna Reid. She was born on November 8th, 1975 in Wyckoff, New Jersey. Both of her parents were school teachers, and they also ran a daycare center out of their home. So she kind of grew up having a normal childhood. But that didn't last for long because she started acting at the age of 6, as many of these women that we've highlighted do. They start at a very young age. A casting agent spotted her and immediately started booking her in commercials. She ended up appearing in over 100 national commercials as a child, including spots for Jell-O, McDonald's, and Crayola. I mean, at 6 years old, she was a working actress. So then she attended the Professional Children's School in Manhattan, a performing arts institution whose alumni include Sarah Michelle Gellar, Macaulay Culkin, Christina Ricci, and Jerry O'Connell. So she was literally in school with some of the most famous young faces of the era.
What's really fun, I learned in high school, she was good friends with Donald Faison from Clueless and Scrubs. Donald and Zach Braff have a Scrubs rewatch podcast, and they had Tara on as a guest a few years ago. And she shared some pretty funny stories from their high school days. It sounds like they were legitimately close friends. She told one story about offering Donald her dad's moonshine one night.
Wow.
They were clearly really close friends. And it was super cute because Donald was like, Tara was the first one from our school, our group to really make it. And I remember watching The Big Lebowski and be like, oh my God, it's Tara. And he told this really cute story of her visiting him on the set of Clueless when he was on the cusp of, making it big. So I thought that was a really cute special friendship that started in high school.
I had no idea about that. What a fun story. And so she started young. She was doing all these modeling campaigns, commercials. She was at this professional children's school. And then she got her first TV appearance on a children's game show called Child's Play in the early 1980s. And from there, she picked up some small roles on Saved by the Bell, The New Class, and Days of Our Lives, where she played a reoccurring character named Ashley in 1995. She eventually moved out to LA, out to Hollywood in 1997 and started auditioning for films. And her first big break was a small but very memorable role in the Coen brothers cult classic, The Big Lebowski in 1998. So just a year after she moved to LA. She played Bunny Lebowski. She was the trophy wife of the millionaire in the movie, Mr. Lebowski. And she was bikini clad and completely unforgettable.
So in the same podcast, the Scrubs podcast, she mentioned her audition, her final audition for The Big Lebowski. And she said that she saw Charlize Theron
Oh my
and
God.
Liv Tyler. Like, wouldn't that just like freak anybody out if you are in an audition room? I don't think she had any confidence that she was going to get this role, but how cool that she did. I was even just talking to my husband. I was like, would I say Tara Reid? Like, what do you think of? The first thing he said was The Big Lebowski. And it's so funny because this movie was a flop when it first came out. It only made $5 million its opening weekend. And in the US, it ended up grossing around $19 million, which barely covered its production budget of like 15. So very narrow margins here. They're like, we tried, right? But
Yeah.
since it's become this cult classic that everyone is obsessed with and talks about all the time.
I know, it's now part of the Library of Congress National Film Registry. It was selected as a film that is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Tara in a bikini is in a museum.
I know. So she was in that movie. At that age, she was what? Okay, 98. She was math. She was
young.
just over 20 years old, if I'm doing my math right. And she was like acting alongside Jeff Bridges and John Goodman, which is crazy. Which is also crazy is that my husband literally randomly opted to watch this movie last night. And him and my mom love it so much. I'm still warming. I think it's kind of weird. I'm still warming up to it. But
yeah, it was one of those movies I watched during COVID because I was like, oh, I can't believe I've never seen The Big Lebowski. And I was like, I suddenly really want a White Russian.
Yeah. It's such a weird movie, but Tara, she was beautiful, electric, full stop.
Love it. And it's so funny because Tara said like this was the moment that she felt like she popped off, which is interesting because it was considered a pretty modest success. But I'm sure that since then, people stop her and they're like, oh my God, you're in The Big Lebowski. Like it's one of those iconic films now that she's known for. So I wonder if in retrospect, or perhaps it was just the first big thing that someone saw her in and like recognized her to be in.
Right. And her part in this role snowballed into other movies. That same year, she appeared in Urban Legend, a slasher film that grossed nearly $40 million in the United States. She started building a serious momentum. And then came 1999. She had a small role in Cruel Intentions alongside Sarah Michelle Gellar, who she went to school with, by the way, Ryan Felipe, and Reese Witherspoon. And then, in my opinion, came the moment that she popped off, at least in my world, American Pie. So American Pie came out, wow, a movie of the summer, July 9th. Oh my God, today's July 9th. It came out, math.
27 years ago.
Yes, that was a pretty easy math one. 27 years ago today. It was made on an $11 million budget. It grossed over $235 million worldwide. It was the surprise comedy hit of the year. It redefined the teen comedy genre and made its ensemble cast of Jason Biggs, Sean William Scott, Allison Hannigan, Chris Klein, and our girl, Miss Tara Reid, into overnight stars.
I just remember wanting to see this movie in theaters so badly. I feel like the hype around American Pie, I don't even know what to compare it to, like Titanic for teenagers.
Yeah.
Like it was such a heavy hitter. I was way too young. And I feel like even if I was allowed to have gone to see it, there's no way I would have understood any of the references. Like,
no.
But everyone was at school being like, one time at band camp. And I was like, what are they talking about? I don't know. I've never seen this movie. Like, I need to see this movie.
I just started like saying it just to like fit in because
one time at band camp.
Yes, that was like the cool phrase.
And I was at sleepaway camp that summer. So everyone was like, one time at band camp. And I was like, what are they all talking about?
My question is, Kelsey, we were literally 8 years old. Like, how were our peers watching this?
I think they all had older siblings who were saying these things. And then it's like the pointy S. Like, how did any of us know? Or like a cootie catcher or GIMP. Like, how did you learn how to do these things? You went to camp and someone's older cousin taught.
True. It was always the older cousin, wasn't it?
I did not see this movie until way later.
No, way later.
And it still was great.
So fun. I'm going to try to watch it tonight. But Tara played Vicky. She was the emotionally grounded, smart girlfriend of Kevin Myers, arguably the heart of this movie. She was navigating her first serious relationship with emotional honesty, and she was great in this role. I loved her in it.
She was really the ultimate girl next door. And she plays this really sweet, like soft character. And by the time I saw American Pie, I had already known her to be sort of this like party girl in the tabloid. So I was surprised seeing this really soft side of her, but I loved her raspy voice. I know you love Sophia Bush's voice, Mary. Tara has a great voice.
She does. You know who else has a raspy voice? Nick Carter when he sings. I'm all for a rasp. Don't want you back.
Don't you back. Don't you back.
Okay, I'm all for the raspy
but
voice.
I need you. There's not one rasp.
He can fluctuate.
Oh, God.
He does.
There she goes. Here she goes.
Okay.
She's starting.
Who is this podcast about again? Anyways. So we had American Pie. The sequel, American Pie 2, it came out 2 years later in 2001 and still did pretty remarkable. It grossed over $145 million in the United States. So not quite the 235 of the original, but okay.
It's more.
Well, so the original statistic is worldwide, and the one so I confused myself. Okay, and
it grossed. Was this the wedding? Or no, American Wedding was the third one.
I can't keep them all straight.
American Wedding, I remember, was the only one I was old enough to go see in theaters when it came out.
Oh my God, because it was PG-13, right?
R. All these were rated R. Are you serious?
Oh my God.
Do you know what they do at band camp?
Oh my God. I just can't believe
people Google that to verify.
It. I just can't believe that. We were 8 years old.
High ratings. Yeah, freaking R. R.
Wow.
It originally, get this. It originally had an NC-17 rating, but they got some of the more explicit scenes out to get it R rated.
I feel like we should do an episode about this because there's probably so many stories about American Pie.
Oh, 100%. God, I just remembered the video camera scene, the camera.
Yeah. Oh my
God. The dangers of the internet were right there.
They had no idea what was coming.
Okay, so it goes American Pie, American Pie 2, American Wedding.
Okay. Is she an American Wedding?
I honestly don't think so.
So she did the first two.
January Jones is in American Wedding.
Oh. Did she replace Tara?
No, she's like someone new and different.
A new bombshell has entered the franchise.
Obviously, Queen Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah, I don't think Tara Reid was in American Wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in 2003. How old, honestly, was I old enough in 2003?
I don't know if you were.
I was not old enough in 2003.
You were 12, right?
I was 12. I saw it in theaters.
I don't know how you got away with that.
Maybe a guardian came with me.
Oh my God. So basically, all these movies did really well, hundreds of millions of dollars. The franchise was a phenomenon. It lives in infamy. So American Pie comes out in 2001. Guess what the fuck else comes out in 2001? Josie and the freaking Pussycats.
Best movie ever.
Yeah. So this is, what a year. 2001. I would love to talk to Tara because I really think 2001 is her year of popping off. But I defer to her, obviously, but that's my opinion. But okay, so Tara appeared in Josie alongside Rachel E. Cook and Rosario Dawson. I feel like we have an episode about this movie. Am I on to... I feel, or at least a part of an episode.
Oh, yeah. Of course we do. It's like the best soundtrack ever. We did a dissertation on it.
So was it about the movie or the soundtrack?
Both.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, we'll find it and link it in the... I don't know what it's called, but it exists.
I think it was like Movies Turning 25, because last year was its 25th anniversary, I think.
What was your favorite song on that soundtrack?
And those three small words came way too late.
Yeah, it's a good one. So yeah, we have a deep dive on that. We'll link it. But here's something I didn't know. We may have probably talked about this in this episode, but I don't remember. Tara never auditioned for Josie and the Pussycats. She actually had a 3-picture deal with Universal, and American Pie and American Pie 2 were 2 of the 3. And there was a third film that she had to do. And Josie and the Pussycats happened to be that third film, and the rest is history. She played Melody Valentine, the sweet and spacey drummer of the group. Critics at the time called Melody dumb, of course, because that's what the critics were saying back then. And Tara has pushed back on that. She said, quote, "She was never dumb. If you really watch the movie, she had these psychic moments and predictions. Her heart was so big," end quote. And yes, her heart was very big. Something else that was interesting about this movie, the whole cast had to learn their instruments from scratch. Not one of them could play. Rosario didn't know how to play bass. Tara didn't know how to play drums. Rachel didn't know how to play guitar. So they had boot camp for the instruments, and Tara described filming it as like a sleepaway camp. So probably a lot of fun, if that's how she's going to describe it. Of course, the film flopped at the box office. It made about $14 million against a budget of $22 million. Roger Ebert, a known critic, called it, quote, "dumb as the Spice Girls," end quote, which is just offensive. And I can see Kelsey scowling at this right now.
Like, it's disgusting. Like, I literally hate those words. And it just shows that he had such an unevolved brain at the time that he didn't even get it. Like, it's not for you.
Yeah. So you shouldn't be talking about it because it's not for you. But here's the thing, kind of like The Big Lebowski, Josie and the Pussycats is now a certified cult classic. It gets the flowers that it deserves. It's widely recognized as one of the first genuinely female empowerment films of the early 2000s. It's about three women. There's no love interest they're fighting over, like competition over a guy. And there's this sharp media satire that was completely ahead of its time.
Also, it was so accurate at predicting the future.
Yeah.
Like, this movie turned 25 this year, and there's all these think pieces on it and how ahead of its time it was and how the branding is out of control. And it is so amazing. So we rewatched it for the episode that we did on it last year. Highly recommend giving this movie a rewatch because even though the fashion, the music, it all screams 2001, the message is more relevant than ever.
Yeah, it's eye-opening watching it back.
There's one line in that movie that my sister used to say to me all the time, and it was Rachel Lee Cook's character talking to Tara Reid's character. When Rachel Lee Cook's character, she's like evil because she's being controlled by the headphones. Yeah. Like the cat headphones. If you haven't seen this movie, you're probably like a little lost. It's kind of like Zoolander.
What's going on? Yes, so much so.
Was getting hypnotized by these headphones that they wanted all the teens to wear. So Rachel Lee Cook's character knows the one way to break Tara Reid's character's heart is to say puppies grow into dogs who grow old and die. And my sister used to say that to me.
Would it traumatize you?
It was kind of like an inside joke, I guess.
Okay. Good. It wasn't
But we both get really upset about it.
That's so funny. What a good memory, all stemming from Josie and the Pussycats. Also, Tara was so in the mix right now. She was such a hot commodity in the acting world. She also was being considered for Mary Jane Watson in the 2002 Spider-Man. So for the role of MJ, and Kate Hudson was apparently the front runner, but turned it down, and it ended up going to Kirsten Dunst, obviously, but Tara was apparently neck and neck with Kirsten Dunst. So like in a parallel universe, Tara Reid was hanging upside down in the rain, kissing Tobey Maguire.
Tara, I don't think she was right for that movie.
I just wonder if her career would have had a different trajectory if she had landed like a blockbuster like this, you know?
I just can't imagine her in that role, though, and I can't imagine Kate Hudson.
They made the right decision, but
100%.
Let's move on to a little goss, a little tea, the scandal, the Carson Daly of it all. So in March 2000, Tara met Carson on the set of TRL. Obviously, if you're here, you know TRL is literally the epicenter of Y2K pop culture. And they met, they felt hard for one another. They moved in together in New York City, and he proposed in October 2000. So how many months is that? I was 7 months after meeting, just so who's counting.
It was fast, but for some reason, this relationship was so important to me.
Oh, interesting.
As a tween, because he made a cameo in Josie and the Pussycats. He turns evil and he like turns on her. And she's like, Carson? And my sister was like, they're getting married. And I was like, what? Oh my God. Like, it just felt like such a cool
crossover.
It was the first celebrity relationship that I really like paid attention to as a kid, I feel like. I don't know. For some reason, their relationship was just a really big deal to me.
That was like Britney and Justin for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
totally
Also
get it.
that one. That was the big one. Brad and Jen. Like in my mind, Carson and Tara were like at that level of cultural relevance. I know.
That's cute. Looking back, that's really cute.
They were just so cool. Like Tara was the girl you wanted to grow up to be like when you were in high school. Carson was just the cool guy who knew all the celebs.
I just would love to see, his phone book, his cell phone contacts, especially back in the day. So they got engaged in October 2000, and they, surprise, surprise, they called off their engagement in July 2001.
Short but sweet, impactful relationship. So a few months before this, in April, Tara had delayed their summer wedding, allegedly to accommodate the filming of a new movie that she was going to be in called The Guest. And I wonder if that had anything to do with, the calling it off. I could see that kind of starting a fight and being like, well, if not now, when? And there were rumors about her and Ashton Kutcher, who was starring opposite of her in this movie, The Guest, but she's denied it. I believe her. So much time has passed now. I feel like she would have told us if there was any funny business going on,
I agree. I feel like she's been very candid a lot in her interviews, so I believe her as well. But this is when the media narrative around Tara really started to take shape because her split with Carson was not being treated like a private breakup between two young people. It became a story, and it became a story mostly about Tara. So Carson did an interview in 2012. He told Elle magazine, and mind you, this was over a decade later. And again, reminder that this article is titled, quote, "I'm living proof that the good guys win," end quote. He said to Elle, "I was getting serious about my career and she wanted to shoot movies and just party in her time off." So basically, Carson, a decade later, is positioning this entire breakup as Tara's fault and him basically dodging a bullet.
All I have to say is, ew, David.
Yeah.
And I got curious, okay? My curiosity got the best of me, and I looked up this interview in Elle magazine from 2012, and I think it's worth noting some other things that he said to contextualize how he's trying to put down Tara in this way. Let me pull a little quote from this interview where he laments over having morals, blaming his morals for being the reason he never went after the teenage girls that would attend TRL. So Elle magazine asks, was there a way to tell which girls were sincere? Basically, they're saying like, oh, like when did you start getting attention from girls? And he was like, oh, like right when TRL started.
Yeah.
So they're saying, how did you tell like which girls were sincere who were approaching you? His response, quote, "To be honest with you, I didn't really care. Teenage girls would throw themselves at me, but it was a very frustrating time. I'm cursed with morals. I was raised a certain way. I wish I wasn't. I wish I was raised by wolves." End quote.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you're disgusting. But wait, it doesn't stop there because there's an opportunity for me to bring this back to Backstreet Boys.
Good.
The Elle interviewer, yet again, how many times, what's our Backstreet Boys ticker at for? The Elle interviewer goes on to say, "You weren't exactly a saint, though. You spent some time at Scores with the Backstreet Boys, I believe." And Carson responds, "I took them to their first strip club, actually."
Ugh.
Good for you, Carson.
Wow.
You're a real winner. And then he goes on to say how he didn't want to date actresses anymore and he didn't want to date girls from the coast anymore. He wanted like a Midwestern girl, and like girls on the coast just want to be famous. And as a girl from the coast, I have to say, you're not worth our time anyways, Carson.
Whatever.
Tara is the one who dodged a bullet.
Unsurprisingly, what Tara has said about the relationship has been much classier. She said in an interview, quote, "We grew apart. We love each other. We care about each other, but I know I can't spend my whole life with you. In some ways, that's the hardest breakup in the world," end quote. And I totally hear that. It's like you can love and care about someone so much, but it's not going to work. It's hard to walk away from something like that.
Notice how she comments on a break up without needing to put the other person down.
Much
Isn't that
classier.
so wonderful? How mature.
How demure. Tara. But this was a hard time for her. Following that breakup, Tara developed anorexia. This coincided with the filming of American Pie 2 in 2001. She's been very open about her struggle, triggered by a genuinely painful breakup. And what did the tabloids do with this? They used photos of her gaunt appearance as content.
Which unfortunately is just like par for the course back then in the early 2000s. And it sucks for us because that's when we as young girls are like really starting to pay attention to media, and we're reading the headlines of the magazines while we're waiting in line at the grocery store and seeing all this trash. Poor Tara. I remember thinking everyone was so mean to her.
I know. I just don't know how someone puts up with that for so long. But thankfully, we don't have to talk about Carson anymore. But this was a fun little dating tidbit I found that I did not know. Before Carson Daly, Tara was actually casually dating Tom Brady. She told Bustle, quote, "We'd just see each other on and off. It was nothing serious, but it was fun. We'd go to beer places and have fun and dance. He was cool," end quote. And then she added, and this was completely unprompted, she said, quote, "He's all skinny now. He's so serious. He used to laugh. When I watch his interviews, he's so cocky now," end quote. And I just died laughing at that.
I love how she says we'd go to beer places.
I know.
Like a bar?
Yeah.
Like a sports bar?
I know.
Beer places.
So cute. Who knew?
She's right, though. No one likes anyone who takes themselves too seriously.
Right? And I feel like Tom is definitely on that very serious line.
Serious man.
But Tara's going through this breakup. She's struggling with anorexia. And this is when this party girl narrative starts to kind of swirl around in the tabloids. You know, after American Pie, Tara was one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. She was a cover girl. She was on Rolling Stone, Maxim, 17, Cosmo. She co-starred with Ryan Reynolds in Van Wilder in 2002. She also appeared alongside Richard Gere in Dr. T and the Woman. So she was like working with big names in big movies. But somewhere along the way, this party girl label got attached to her. And once it did, it never let go. Tara herself has always said she was really no different from anyone else in Hollywood at that time. She just like got caught. She told Paper magazine, quote, "I got paparazzi'd everywhere. They were outside my car. They were outside the club. Like I couldn't get away with anything. Everyone was doing the same thing, but I got in trouble for it," end quote.
Yeah, like call it out, Tara. Like literally everybody needs to chill. There are so many freaks out there who do weird stuff and then shame other people online for their every move. Like, please.
Here is what I thought was the most damning quote of it all. And it came from Harvey Levin of TMZ. When Tara hosted a segment for them, he pulled her aside and said to her, quote, "We wouldn't even have TMZ if it wasn't for you. You were always the one that was picked on. For us, it was perfect," end quote. And it's just insane. Like, no surprise, but insane that he's, willing to admit that to her.
And for the lady, a little justice, perhaps? A knuckle sandwich?
Justice is a dish best served
cold. Why do they say that?
Or is it justice or is it
revenge?
Revenge.
But why do they say that? Cold revenge? What is
like delayed, like it comes later.
Oh.
Like hot would be like, that's how I interpret it. Like,
I'm going to Google this. Why do we say revenge is it?
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay, this is what the Google AI overview
perfect.
says. The phrase means that vengeance is most effective and satisfying when planned calmly over time, rather than in the impulsive heat of the moment. Heat of the moment.
Okay, I was right.
Waiting allows you to eliminate mistakes, catch targets off guard, and strike when they are entirely complacent. Wow, damn.
I love some justice and revenge.
She doesn't, did she get any though? Like,
not really. And it keeps getting worse. She has all this going on. And then we get into this kind of plastic surgery nightmare that she went through. So in 2004, Tara underwent a breast augmentation. She has said that she asked for B cups. Her surgeon gave her C cups without her consent. and her areolas were deformed in the process and failed to heal properly. And she also had a body contouring procedure done by the same surgeon that just went wrong. She told Us Weekly, quote, "My stomach became the most ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini. I lost a lot of work," end quote.
I mean, that's where she started her career, in a bikini and Big
Right.
Lebowski. Like, this makes me so sad. I totally forgot about this, but
Uh-huh.
I do recall seeing headlines around this at the time. And I remember it made me very scared of plastic surgery, but it was very confusing because at the same time, there were so many shows that were glorifying like full body makeovers, like The
Yeah.
Swan. Do you remember
Mhm.
that show,
I
Mary?
do. I didn't watch it, but I remember seeing all the commercials for it.
I watched it religiously. So this show premiered in the spring of 2004. And if for anyone who's not familiar with The Swan, it was a full body makeover show on Fox where they would basically take ugly duckling women, I say ugly duckling in quotes, and redo their teeth, full liposuction, full like reconstructive surgery on their faces to turn them into a beautiful swan. And then they would be like revealed back to their husbands and families. And then they had them compete in like a beauty pageant to see who would win like the ultimate swan and who had the most dramatic before and after makeover. And I remember thinking like, oh, if I'm a mom one day, do I have to do this? Like,
Yeah.
it was so confusing.
Yeah.
And then you hear these things that Tara was going through. I mean, whoever that surgeon was, they should be in jail. How can you
Hopefully
put
they are.
something in someone's body without their consent? It's awful.
I also think it'd be really interesting to do a look back at the Swan and some of the contestants and where they are now, and if they've done any interviews like about the process and how it impacted them.
I did like a quick look, and it sounds like a lot of the women were like happy with the results they
Good.
got, but it was very brief. So I do think it would
Interesting.
be worth a deep dive because, I mean, just even now as an adult woman, I think about the Swan all the time. And I'm like,
yeah.
am I old enough now to go on the Swan? Like, is it my time to
Is
go
it
on the
time?
Swan?
Oh my God.
It's just like, I can't believe that show existed. Also, the beauty pageant part was a surprise to the women. Like, they
That's
did not know that
awful.
they were signing up to be now judged on how beautiful they were. Just the casualness with how they dropped the word, like, oh, you're so unattractive. Oh, you're so
Ugh.
ugly. Oh, your jowls. Oh, you're this.
That's awful.
That's how we grew up. That is so messed up.
So messed up. So basically, she had this terrible experience with her surgeon. And then also hate this for her. She was at Diddy's 35th birthday party and she walked the red carpet for it in November 2004. And this was a moment. Her dress strap fell. She didn't realize it was happening. She has said, quote, "I'm smiling like an idiot, not even knowing it's there," end quote. The photographers saw everything, and rather than telling her or looking away, of course, they laughed, got the money shot, and published the photos everywhere. Do you remember? You know what photo I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
The-
Sadly.
Her entire
Nip
boob
slip.
was out. And Tara said, "I became known as having the ugliest breast in the world. It was all over these websites, millions of them. When I realized it, I cried and begged photographers not to print it," end quote. They printed it anyway, obviously. She was devastated. She lost work and her confidence was shattered. She said later, "I'll never be perfect again." And just, I had totally forgotten about this part. And I just remember seeing this like on every single cover. Obviously, you don't see it, but like you see that picture of, she looked so beautiful otherwise.
Mhm.
Like she looked stunning. And then they were just like mocking a wardrobe malfunction. And she
I
was
know.
recovering from this like terrible, horrific
Violation.
Yeah, like it just, I can't even imagine. So this was obviously had been a really hard time, a really tough couple years for her. And the year after the wardrobe malfunction, so this would be 2005, Tara signed on to host a travel show on E! Called Wild On, which was then retitled to Taradice to capitalize on her tabloid persona. She has since said that it was probably the stupidest thing that she's ever done. She's like, "I didn't know it was going to ruin my career." The show was canceled after one season, with the network president saying it was, quote, "incredibly difficult to produce with someone well-known," end quote. Did you ever, I didn't watch this show, did you?
I didn't, but I remember seeing it being promoted. I remember seeing the trailer and like commercials for it.
I remember the title, like Paradise. I remember that. I don't know what it's. I guess it's a travel show. I just don't really get like what would have been so difficult about having her be the host. But on that note, I guess Tara has been candid about her struggles with alcohol during this period, and she briefly did check into rehab in late 2008. And of course, through all of it, the tabloids kept printing, the blogs kept mocking, and there was just no work for her. She told E! News, quote, "Why would that affect me so much? Especially when there's never, ever been an article about me being unprofessional." And she makes a really good quote. Like, in her entire career, no one has ever said she was difficult to work with, late to set, uncooperative. The entire narrative was built on her personal life, not her work. And yet she's the one who paid for it professionally.
Oh, Tara.
I know. So she was in rehab in 2008, briefly. There's not a ton going on for her on the work front, but then we have a little bit of a comeback. By 2012, Tara had relocated to London. She had actually been there since the end of the American Pie reunion promotional tour. The last stop was London, and instead of going home, she stayed. She was just like, nothing was really tying me to Hollywood anymore. And then her agent called and was like, "All right, Tara, you're not working. We're not doing anything. You need to work again." And they sent her the most absurd script she had ever read in her life. I can't even read the sentence without laughing. A movie about tornadoes full of sharks. And our girl said yes.
Sharknado was really a moment. It was a moment. Like, you
Did
had
you
to
see
be
it?
there. Of course I did. My stepbrother did something with the lighting for it. So he was in the credits.
Really?
So my stepdad was like, "You have to watch and like see Greg's name in the credits."
That's so
And I was
cool.
like, "What is it called?"
The tornadoes full of sharks.
So Tara talked about this on the Scrubs Rewatch podcast that I mentioned earlier. And she said that the movie was originally called Dark Sky. And then her agent called her. They were like, "By the way, we're changing the name to Sharknado." And she said she was crying. She was like, "You can't do this. Like, this is going to ruin my life." Like, you guys, like, you cannot freaking call this Shark freaking Nado. Well, they were like, "We're calling it Sharknado, girl." And she told this really funny story. She was like, I was recently on a flight and a flight attendant was like, "Oh my God, you're in my favorite movie." And she's like, "Oh, Big Lebowski, American Pie." And she's like, "Sharknado."
That's so funny.
And she was so surprised by the warm reception. I mean, Sharknado completely blew up. I think that was like the first movie that on Twitter, it got like 1 million tweets a minute or something crazy like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, so Sharknado premiered on Sci-Fi in July 2013. It had 1.4 million viewers on a channel that typically drew less than 1 million. Its third screening got 2.1 million viewers, so it blew up the channel. It became a viral phenomenon, not because it was, a think piece, a great piece of work, but because it was so gloriously intentionally bad. The franchise ran for 6 films over 6 years. Tara was in all of them, and she's fully embraced it, saying, quote, "It's the worst movie of all time. It's so bad that it's actually kind of good. For Sharknado to bring me back is something I never would have expected," end quote. And it did bring her back, not to maybe where she was when, 2001, when I would argue she popped, or was it 99 when Lebowski, where she thought she popped, but to a version of herself that the public embraced and loved. And that's the reaction she deserves from the public. So where is Tara today? Well, she does continue to act. She appears at American Pie fan conventions, and apparently Rachel E. Cook, her Josie and the Pussycats co-star, remains one of her closest friends to this day.
I love that.
I know. And she told Time, quote, "There's a whole side of me that no one gets. No one knows that side about me, and no one wants to know that side of me," end quote. And I just want to say, Tara, we do.
Come on, When They Popped. We'll tell your story with care. And
Tara, please come on When They Popped. We would love to hear from you. So
Tara, she was just the ultimate cool girl. Like, I just wanted to be her so bad.
I mean, how could we not?
How could we not? Well, let us know what you think in the comments. And if this episode sounded a little more chaotic than most, it's because it's a sneak peek at what our Patreon is like.
Yeah.
Which is a little less polished, a little more candid. We're a little more free over there. So check it out if you haven't already. Make sure you're following us at When They Popped Pod. If you want to live vicariously through us at Sphere, that's where you'll find us.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening and for supporting us.
Bye.
Bye.